build my gallows and build them high. Makes a long time climbing before I die. I want the chance.
Hello everybody, welcome to Longbangers. I'm Matty.
I'm Colin.
Nearly three of the rest.
Couldn't you would have done me again.
I know.
No, never through me. I deliberately waited to get you, Pat. So.
If you wonder what we're talking about, depending on the order that you do your podcast, we recorded a wee 20-odd minutes episode just only on the game, because we tend to not really talk about the game on Longbangers anymore. We just go through the sort of talking points. So we just did that for everybody, and you can go and have a listen to that if you want. It's because I forgot to record Twitter Spaces last night as well, which was really good. And thanks to everybody who joined us on Twitter Spaces last night, because it was good crack. It's nice talking about a win, especially like a good pumping win as well. Right, Colin, Hibs 6, Aberdeen 0. First time we'd scored 6 against Aberdeen since the 50s, I think, and the first player to get a hat-trick against Aberdeen since the 60s. According to Sports Sound, if I remembered that right, I listened to that this morning again. They just fucking were all talking about Aberdeen.
You can understand why to an extent reason. Like, I mean, it was a bit dramatic. It was a dramatic. Sorry.
Did you hear their chairman on the radio? He was like, there's a bit greeting.
Aye, I heard it. Mm-hmm.
Aye, he's funny. He didn't sound like I thought he was sounding more American than he does, because I think he's spent most of his life over in America, as you know.
Yeah. He's since a long time, I think.
Aye, I thought he would have had more of an accent. He still had a bit of the Aberdonian about him. Right, anyway, Hibs. So the first talking point I wanted to bring up, Colin, the game was billed as El Sackio, with the general.
Sounds better. I don't know where the Sackio came from.
I don't know. Well, it's El Clasico, isn't it? Is what it's parodying. So El Sackio, right? We'll go with that. With the general consensus being that whoever lost was going to get their jotters. Hibs on the back of a couple of derby defeats and a general poor run. Although our league form's been all right. Last couple of games, I think that's 3 unbeaten now, if you include this one. Quite a lot of goals scored in that period as well. So maybe Johnson wasn't quite as at risk as we thought he might have been. However, the view was that both managers had potentially lost their dressing rooms, right, to use a cliche, and I'm never a fan of that cliche anyway, because again, how do you lose a fucking dressing room? You never find sort of pack it in their pockets. Where the fuck did I put it?
It's a nonsense.
Aye.
It's just something that's thrown about.
Yeah.
By fans.
But the point I was going to make, and the talking point I want to bring up, is you've got two managers going into this under pressure. Hibs, and because of all the movements with the clear out that we've had, we've gone in with really what felt like a bit of a patched up team. You had Johnson in the press talking about the project, in inverted commas, bringing the youth players through. And we had McIntyre, Laidlaw and O'Connor on the bench. And it was like the first time that Johnson has sort of referenced this project, bringing through the young players. And after the game, he says about a plan coming together, which
I know.
I was like, fuck, who are you trying to kid? It's not been talked about all the time. So anyway, Hibs would have had loads of excuses. Had we lost, Johnson would have been able to probably say, well, we lost Porteous through the week. Nisbet looked like he was going to go. That's been disruptive. We've had a midfield that's not played together yet. We've got a back four that's not played together yet. All the excuses could have been there for us to have lost the game. The contrast in how Aberdeen played and how Hibs played, I think, is probably the strongest evidence that we've seen so far that the players are in fact right behind Lee Johnson. What do you think?
Well, the way they played yesterday, no doubt about it. I mean, the effort they were putting in, the running they were doing, the pressing, and the way they acted in that, definitely agree. And it's just a thing that fans throw about now, I think. As soon as you lose a couple of games, there's something going on at the club. Especially, it's really for Hibs fans, it's really started after the John Collins stuff.
Aye.
And then every time we go on a wee losing run, which happens every season, this is the shite that we come out with, cliche nonsense that we don't actually know anything about. Yeah. And we just assume, and we assume that because we've lost a few games, it's because the players aren't playing for the manager, and we need a clear out in the there's something going on at the club. As I say, that's the one that you hear. There's more to it than that. Kid, all that, and you how. And it wouldn't be all the players anyway. Like you might fall out with a couple of players. Like you might have fell out with Kenna and that, and he sent him away, and then a couple of Kenna's mates might go, he's a bit of a dick.
Aye.
Because that's how any team works.
Yeah.
There's a couple of people that think the manager's a bit of a dick, and there's a few of them that think he's a good guy. And it's always got to be like that, no matter what. So I think it's just cliched nonsense. And we just buy into it all the time.
Aye, but I suppose that's football fans and cliches. They go hand in hand, or football and cliches. But it's sort of like easily understood. I can't remember who we were talking about. There was a what game was it? There was a game on. It was like an FA Cup game. Wee team against the big team. They're interviewing, and the wee team hadn't got the result, and they're interviewing the managers after it, and it was both of them. It's just cliche, like when managers talk and they say "fuck all," and I was like, see, if you've grown up in that environment,
that's why they listen to them.
Aye, but if you're a footballer, this was just what I was thinking. This is just fucking nonsense. Okay, why I'm repeating it. Everybody cares what they mean, though. Although I talk about character. Oh, okay, great character. I've got bags of character in the dressing room, and I should go. What do you actually mean by character? Like everybody's character. Your character might be you're a dick. Your character might be that you didn't fancy a fight. Your character might be that you're not up for anything. Like saying, we've got loads of character doesn't really tell you anything. But all of us care what they mean. Like that's how embedded cliches and that are in football. That if you were sitting
brilliant if like there was a journalist or an interviewer, like Ailey Barber or she didn't do that, Luke Shanley or somebody was to go, what do you mean by character?
Aye, go describe that.
What qualities are you talking about? And see what they come out with, because it's just pish. It's just, I'll take that one off the shelf, one game at a time, gave me 2 halves, play a character, and you know what I mean? It's just pish, it's just nonsense. It's just
imagine how easy a team talk would be today, because you could just come out with that, but the thing is, all the players would care what you meant as well, and they're all, fuck it, aye, I'm going to go out there and show character.
Again, it was even like, folk were saying about the boy for Darville last week, with his pre-match
his team talk.
Speech. And I watched that and I was like, aye, good. But it came out like, it wasn't like fucking some kind of, it was just like some shit they've taken out of, like they've seen on fucking, is it Any Given Sunday?
Any Given Sunday, aye, that's the one that gets quoted.
Just spin it into the rain, ken how many hours there are in the day, and that, it's just multiplied that up. Like, it's just like, it's overplayed, all that stuff. Like, I think I used to hate all that stuff in dressing rooms where folk would try and get you up for games. But like, I'll just get myself up. I didn't need to bang my chest and fucking kick a wall in a door and that. Like, you know what I mean? I'll go and I'll get my head ready. You know what I mean? I'm not going to start fucking shouting about and all that shit. But aye.
Back to the point. So I thought the players fought as a team. They looked like they knew what they were doing. That's something that we've criticised them for at various stages of the season, is looking really disjointed or not really having much of a clue. But everybody seemed to know the role that they were playing in the team. They all fought. And one of the big things, and somebody made the point on Spaces last night, and I thought it was brilliant, is see when you're a team that's been under pressure and you're maybe struggling for the form that you want to have, you go in at half-time with 3-0. The easiest thing in the world to do would be go and say, let's not fuck that up. Let's sit back on it, protect it, and just see the game out. You don't need to go and score a 4th or a 5th or a 6th. You can just, that'll do us. 3-0 is a good result.
I genuinely think they thought about that for 5 minutes. I said it in the earlier one there, the game programme. I think there was early in the second half, there was a bit of a lull and we were sitting really deep. Yeah. I don't know who it was, that if it was the coaches that were like, get fucking out and get forward, or if there was players on the park that led that. I'm not sure how it worked, but there was definitely a thought of that. And that's usually one of these games you go 3-0 up, 3-0 in at half time, 3-0 in.
And 3-0 up.
3-0 up at half time. And you come out and then the game finishes 3-1 or 4-1 or something. Because they'll be all about it's 0-0, then they lose the second half, we're playing for pride. That's what the fucking bollocks they'll be shouting in the dressing room to motivate themselves and that. And that's but they've went in there and done it's 0-0, we go again stuff, like a mere cliche fucking civil that they speak. But that's what you know what I mean? And it was good they actually done it.
And I think even because I know what you're saying about sitting back, but teams always have a spell in a game where they're on top. Like generally,
Mhm.
it's unusual for it to be totally dominant in a game. And I think
Aye.
Aberdeen just had their spell at that wee bit where they were probably trying to chuck everything at us
Possibly.
to
But I
get back
think
in
we were
it.
sitting a lot deeper, which gave that it gave them a glimmer. I think that we
Aye,
were sitting deep and they were thinking we'll just be pinging balls in the box now for the next 40 minutes. But
but we
it was
went
good. It didn't last long. It
aye,
lasted too long for me, but it didn't last long.
but we went right to the end, and the fact that we kind of got the fifth and sixth games in the sort of dying fifth and sixth goals in the dying stages of the game.
Yeah.
I thought it looked a
That was
lot
the
like
goal difference.
the players were playing for the manager, playing for the badge.
Yeah.
And that was probably the best example of it we've seen so far. Although we were good against, I say good, you wouldn't have fought them for effort last week against Hearts, although the result went the other way. The actual performance again looked like a team that was trying, just not doing very well at it. Whereas everything went our way yesterday. So that I just wanted to make that point and say the contrast. And you look at Aberdeen, obviously they end up sacking their manager at the end. Of a really humiliating result
I
for them.
think they sacked him at half time.
You reckon? Think they can? Well, I think they would have known by that point. This is fucked. The game's gone.
Aye.
And when the boy got sent off,
He's went in there. He's went in there at full time, picked his bag up, fucking, as you see, everybody's seen him walking across the park to the motor that's waiting on him.
Aye.
Sit in the fucking traffic jam. I'd like to think if Hibs had known, they would have went, come and sit in fucking Lee's office.
Aye.
Let the traffic guy do, mate. It's a fucking nightmare in Marianville and that. You know what I mean?
Aye.
It's a fucking bomb site. Like, you're going to be just sit here for half an hour. Because Lee Johnson didn't know. Otherwise, I think he might have. Because Johnson got interviewed on the TV.
Aye.
He's like, on the radio, sorry. And he said, "Oh, you've just told me." At that time, Goodwin's already across the pitch. And you seen the Hibs players standing there warming down almost like. They knew he'd been sacked, you know, as well. So I think it was a wee bit fucking humiliating for me. But it's not the right way to do it. But I think they maybe sacked him at half time.
Aye, could be right. All right, next talking point for you, Colin.
I think that Aiden McGeady's football IQ is head and shoulders above anybody else that we've got at Easter Road. Agree or disagree?
Agree. I think the pundits were purring about him after the game. I mean, really enthused about him. I think John Hughes said he plays a different game. I think it was him that said it. Plays a different game.
Yeah.
And I think McGeady, when he picks up the ball, he finds space and time, and he never panics, but never ever is just like, fuck, I've got to get rid of this. Never.
Yeah.
What made you say it?
And he's got more time than anybody. He's willing to take the ball under pressure, and he doesn't really lose it. He doesn't lose it. He's creative. He comes. He's out wide, but he comes inside. The fullback's going, fucking there. Like, what do I do here? Like, he just creates difficulty for the other team, and he's just thinking. Like he's a step ahead of the other players. And you see why he played at the level he's played, and he's won the trophies he's won, and played in the Champions League, and made fucking millions, no doubt. Like, he doesn't need to work again. Do you know what I mean? He's not doing this for money. He's doing this because he enjoys playing football, and he's fucking good at it.
And he doesn't play like somebody who's just doing it for fun either. Like, he works. Like, he's definitely part of that team, and he wants to play at a certain standard. Was that?
He's a born runner, to coin a phrase.
Aye, a born runner.
He's doing it because he wants to win fucking football games. He's just good at football. And to think he got injured in pre-season, and everybody would say just fucking right off his contract. It's like he's probably the best footballer we've got. Like, I'm not saying he's the best. He wasn't the best performance or anything, but actual football IQ, he's fucking streets ahead of anybody, I think.
And he's got the experience that we've been missing. And I think I can't remember if we spoke about it on the last week's podcast, right? But you look at the players that we've been missing all season, and the difference it would have made to probably how we viewed the season. With Nisbet, and you've seen the impact he's had when he's come back. McGeady, McGuinness, obviously still out. Boyle. Who he got injured early on, having sort of landed with hitting the ground running since he came back. I think if we've got all those players available and fit and match fit, because you see McGeady's getting better week on week, then we're probably no far off being on the heels of Hearts.
Yeah.
I think.
Who let him kicked out of the club because he went to watch a Celtic reserve game? It's like madness, absolute madness. We need to be more patient.
Aye. Would you give him another year?
I'll decide that in a couple of months, like, because it is 2 or 3 games that I'm basing this on, like, but the natural ability, you need to see what his motivation is in that, because it's not, as I say, he's not playing for the money, he's playing for the enjoyment. So if he's still fit and he's playing, he wants to carry it on, aye.
Because he doesn't seem to have lost much in the way of pace either. He's still quick, like you see over especially over like a short
it's
period.
Quick in the head.
Aye.
But I listened to Gordon Strachan getting interviewed. It was with Graham Spears on one of his podcasts, and he was talking about it wasn't specific to McGeady, but he did mention McGeady and other thing, like that Nakamura dragged the McGeady, Maloney, and all these young laddies as well at the time. Nakamura used to play a match on a Saturday, come in, change his training kit, and go up to the gym 45 minutes after a match. And then we were talking about culture and leaders and that. I mean, Nakamura's not a big shout today, but McGeady, Maloney, Caldwell, and that were like, "Can I come up and do some weeks for you?" And that was that kind of leadership.
Aye.
And McGeady's got to be fit because of that, and he's hopefully dragging Josh Campbell and all these kind of boys along with him. But he was also, the main point I was going to make, Strachan talked about the most important thing in football. Now, you could say it's an old view, I don't know, but most important thing in football is first touch and being able to beat a man. Because you can take the ball under pressure, and then you can take that. You're not just immediately getting ready and passing it and getting away. I don't want it anymore. You're going, and that gives you options. You let the ball come to you, and you can go by him, or you can pass it, and you've taken the defender out of the game. And that's what McGeady's got: his first touch and ability to take the ball under pressure, because he's confident in his ability to just turn and just go the other way, or go past the guy, or whatever it is he's got to do. And he's just quality.
Mm-hmm. And you can see defenders hate defending against him. And they double up. Like the amount of times McGeady gets the ball and he's got a couple of boys on him. You look at our first goal on Saturday comes, I think McGeady's has a wee interchange with Yuan, who eventually ends up dribbling through. But defenders are they're shit scared to kind of go in, because all they're going to do is foul him. And once McGeady gets into the box, you can't dangle a foot in on him, because you'll go down, Ken. Like you'll foul him. I'm really impressed with McGeady. I think the football IQ thing that it's going to become a cliche now, isn't it? Because Lee Johnson said that we ought to take the piss at him for it, and now we use it all the time. But you can see what it means for McGeady. Right, next point, Colin. All the chat post-match, and understandably so, was about Aberdeen and Jim Goodwin getting sacked and the sort of carnage that's there. And what will get missed in the media is that Hibs were good. For all Aberdeen were bad, and we could talk about how bad Aberdeen were, and they were bad. Hibs had to capitalise, and Hibs had to make them look bad, and Hibs deserve immense credit for the performance that they put in.
Yeah, absolutely. We're efficient, but trying hard, chasing things down, working hard, working as a team, doing the basics, and took our chances. I think we had 7 shots on target and we scored 6 goals. I don't know if penalties count in that number or no. I don't know. It's a stupid question, but I remember when Hearts done it the other week, they got 4 on target but scored 5.
I think one was an own
goal. I don't know
if
that was because they didn't count the penalty.
I think one was an own goal. Aye.
So it was 7 shots on target anyway and 6 goals. So that is like something that we've been moaning like fuck about, saying how do other teams come with 1 chance or 2 chances and score them both, and we get beat, and we've had fucking 30 shots on goal. Well, whenever we had 7 and we scored 6, take that every week. Well, fucking of course I would. I'd take winning 1-0 with 1 shot on target every week. Then, to be quite honest with you, I didn't need 50 shots on target. I didn't need it to be all that. Just take the chances as they come. If that's 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, fine. But that was good. And that will be lost though, because the drama I'm fucking walking across the park when the players are still warming down and all that. You can totally understand why that's went that way, but then you've got the old fuckers on the radio talking about fucking getting spinning away into players being foreign and no understanding fucking that Aberdeen won the cup 40 years ago.
Aye. Well, get Willie Miller back in the dressing room, that's what they were saying, get him back.
Well, that's what Craig had said. I was sitting in the car and I was like, fucking get him back, get him off this fucking radio. But it's true, it's like, what's he going to do now? Like, like fucking 40 years ago, he was the captain of that team. He was an old man then.
Aye. And he's a failed manager there as well. It wasn't even like he went in and was a successful manager. I'll just call my light there again. How did I do that? There we go.
Aye, they binned him. They binned him as a manager. Aye, it's like madness. That was the shite they were speaking. But then that was Stephen Craig, innit? So, but that's Stephen giving it all the punch in the badge stuff. That's fucking tell them what Aberdeen's all about, shite. You know, like. But so I understand that. But I mean, we've done it ourselves. Like Hibs were good, but I heard Mikey Stewart. I've only seen that bit on the TV. I seen the highlights again last night, and I watched the. Mikey Stewart was saying it was a good win, but with caveats. I think was his phrase.
What did they have the caveats when Hearts beat them 5-0? Was it the same caveats that they used there?
I didn't see Sports Scene that night, so I don't know. I don't know.
And
I don't know what the caveats were, to be honest, either. I'm not sure if he told. I can't remember if he said what they were. Might have been Aberdeen's shite defending. Presumably, they defended shite when they got beat 5-0 as well last week, 10 days ago.
Aye.
But I don't know.
I mean, I think you look at. I suppose it's hard to separate the two things for Hibs being good and Aberdeen, because Aberdeen were fucking terrible. I mean, their defence in particular was woeful. But at the same time, they looked worse because we made them look bad as well. Like, we took advantage of it. Even things like knowing that you can shell a ball into the top of Aberdeen centre halves and they can't deal with it. Like, they couldn't cope. And we did it. We took advantage of that. So we had like Yuan up competing for headers with them, or trying to get in behind. Like, if the ball was going over the top of them, because Aberdeen were that bad, we just capitalised on it. Will Fish was putting in some good forward balls early on, and Aberdeen just couldn't cope. So although they're bad, you still need to have enough about you to take advantage of it and no play to their strengths. Hibs went and exploited their deficiencies and did it very well. But the other thing is we outfought them all over the pitch as well. I mean, there wasn't one player, I think, won their individual battles that was in the Aberdeen shirt.
Yeah. So we were good. We can't lose that fact.
Aye. Right, next one for you.
I've got two actually. I've thought of one since we spoke before. But what about? I'll do the one we spoke about. So that how big difference to the team does playing a true defensive midfielder? How big a difference does it make to the team?
Well, we spoke about the impact that Kenna had on letting Joe Newell play his game earlier in the season. And it was one of the things that I think we scratched our head about when Kenna didn't feature, is that Newell had to sit deeper. Jago's come in. I think Jago looked more effective than Kenna, although, again, very small sample size. What Jago was, I think that's how you pronounce it, isn't it? Jago. Or Jago.
The TV called him Jago last week.
Jago.
It's spelled Jago, I don't know.
Aye. Yeah. Well, I'll go with Jago. Jago sounds more nicknamey, doesn't it? So, we'll say Jago. He was effective, snapping at the tackles. He was just being a nuisance. But again, him having...
He was behind them there, just covering up.
Aye. Just having that wee bit of assurance.
Tony, the tennis wrote him off last week in the tennis. Did you hear that?
That?
Well, she's never got it. I can't remember exactly how he phrased it, but basically she's not good enough. Yeah, it's just too early. Like, we need to learn these lessons. Like, we do it. We've done it with McGeady as well. You know, we've done it with Curdy. A lot of people we've not mentioned him, but we've done it with Josh Campbell last season. You know what I mean? We've done, so did Tony again. Like, without calling him out, like he fucking hammered Josh Campbell last season.
I mean, loads of folk did. To be fair, loads of folk had written Campbell off.
Including us, by the way. I think I gave him a hard time. I just called him I just thought he was a hard worker with not much football on him. I think was mine, but I appreciated the hard work. But we've written off far too many people far too soon. I don't know why we think we're a fucking judge a player after 5 minutes, 45 minutes, 90 minutes. I don't know why we don't just fucking calm the fuck down and just wait.
Aye.
Obviously, there comes a point where you go, nah, this boy's a clown. But it's not after 5, 45 or 90 minutes, as many people seem to want to judge somebody on. And I think, to bad on to you, I mean, the difference he's made to Joe Newell in one game. Newell's pinging forward passes. Folks say he can't play a forward pass. He was doing it all the fucking time yesterday because he's got a proper player there beside him. And Josh Campbell scored a fucking hat-trick. He was up and down the park. McGuinness didn't get a game in that midfield based on that yesterday. And we've got McGuinness doing as one of your fucking best players.
By the way, that's a great shout and probably worth exploring a wee bit more because I think who McGuinness would come in for based on the McGuinness that we've seen this season.
Yeah.
I think he's got a couple of goals, McGuinness, hasn't he? But Josh Campbell, Josh Campbell had probably the perfect day for him yesterday. Didn't he put a fit wrong? I mean, he was absolutely outstanding. Gets a hat trick, 2 assists, and he was like the prototype box to box midfielder yesterday. If you wanted to pick a player that you wanted a box to box midfielder to be
correct.
like,
he was back sweeping up at the back post and all that as well. And there was one point where I think he left Shinnie on the edge of the box, and Shinnie was off, and then he got back round the back to make the block. But it was him that let Shinnie go in the first place. But he clocked it and he was away, and he was back round because he's fucking such a hard worker. 90th minute of the game yesterday, 6-0, and we were on a break, and Campbell was sprinting forward as if it was fucking we were chasing the game.
Aye,
it was like this boy's just a machine. Like, can we done the beep test jokes in that, or no jokes, but the chat about like who done the beep test and all these stupid stuff we were starting talking about.
Aye,
he must be up there. Like,
definitely
run all day.
Aye, and he's 22 years old. I think 23 in May. You looked up before we started. I made the point in Spaces last night. It's a Campbell, and the way that he's grown into his performances has the potential to be the sort of influential player that somebody like Lewis Ferguson at Aberdeen was, where the big clubs will be starting to pay attention to him. I believe Hibs have already knocked back a bid for him. He's under contract, I think, still for another couple of years. Is he somebody you think we should be looking to build our team around?
No, I think he's definitely the type of player that a manager appreciates. Like, because we've had how many managers over the last wee while, and every one of them's picked him. I'm just looking at how old Lewis Ferguson is. He's the same age as him.
Is he?
Ferguson. He's 23, so he's a wee bit older, but you know, the same. They probably played the same age groups when they were growing up. But all the managers appreciate him. You know, Ross to Maloney to Johnson.
Aye.
I can't remember who was before Ross, and if he played then. But they've all played him. Like, despite the fans saying he's pissed, he's never going to make it.
Mm-hmm.
Every one of them stuck by him and played him regularly. And look what we're getting now from him. But I mean, you could say that, but then based on his performance, he's maybe now thinking, I'm going to get a move. We might not get a chance to build a fucking team round him because he'll be thinking I'm away in the next year.
Maybe, but I mean, he's a Hibs fan. I kind of doesn't count for anything really in the grand scheme of things.
So,
aye,
you know what I mean? They're all done at Murray. Fuck this, every one of them. So, there's no way he's got to just stay if he's got to get a move to the Championship or something. You know, because he's athletic enough to play that level. Because that's no about football in that league game. We know that. You know, if you watch it, it's just about being the fittest and hungriest.
And the criticism with Josh Campbell last season was he didn't have enough football about him. You know, like you said, he was a hard worker, a grafter, but not technically the best. But I think we're seeing the technical side for Josh Campbell now. He's good range of passing. I mean, he's up there for assists, I think, for us this season. He scored good goals. Aye, like he's got three different goals yesterday. He scored 2 different types of goals against Aberdeen earlier in the season at Easter Road. Look at the goal he scored against Rangers, where he's catching it on the half volley to the edge of the box. All of these things would be evidence of a very technically competent player.
Yeah. He must be our top scorer, is he? Or he's tied on his.
He's joint with Nisbet, aye.
He is joint, aye.
Aye.
Because I was thinking that when he scored, I thought he'll be our top scorer, and then of course Nisbet came on and scored. So he's such an improvement. But then that midfield balance, the balance in there, the three allows for it.
Yeah.
You've got your box to box, you've got Newell trying to pick some passes, and you've got Jago just fucking sweeping stuff up and keying the ball to the football players, which is derogatory, but it doesn't mean it to be, because I appreciate that role. Just fucking win it, make no fuss, get on.
Aye.
When you go dribbling, that's the last ball we had in there. The last few games, he was trying to win the ball, and he was trying to fucking do it all himself. Like, no. Your job isn't that. Your job's to go fucking win it and cover everybody's arse.
Aye.
Last man.
And I think it makes a difference having your menacing players. You said the expression that Graham Spears used about Hibs lacking a bit of menace. Having the front three, whether it's McCurdy or Nisbet and Yuan and McGeady available there, allows the midfield to do that as well, because those three occupy the defence. So you're only really having to beat the midfield as a midfielder. Then you're beating the man in front of you, and then getting it to these boys to cause havoc. And then you've got someone like Campbell who can come in late to the box, make his late runs, and sort of just go in and pick up goals.
It's a real good balance. Good balance. Because you would think the obvious place for McGuinness would be Campbell's position, but not in form.
Nah. McGuinness definitely doesn't walk back into the side unless you're dropping you.
No.
But I mean,
but I don't see. You're then playing two players like Josh Campbell at the detriment of you. So can McGuinness play some of the passes that Neil can play? You know that one that was called offside. That ball he played to Yuan and then or McCurdy.
McCurdy laid off.
Yeah, McCurdy played it off to Yuan, didn't he? That was a great ball, as well as the balls for the corner and that. McGuinness, I've not seen that from McGuinness. So you're asking him to So one of the big things about Saturday was everybody was in their position. You're saying they looked organized, they knew what they're doing. They were all playing the fucking position to play.
Aye.
You put McGuinness in Newell's role, then you're immediately going, well, that's not his job's Josh Campbell's position. And I know it's all midfield and centre midfield, but it's a different role in there. So you've then got two box-to-box boys trying to go on the end of crosses. So that means you're a man light then, eh? At times, so you could be.
Aye.
Unless they're good enough to go, he's went, I'll wait. And I don't know if they've got the discipline for that.
Aye. Right, what was your other point? And then we'll go to the Twitter ones. Because you said you thought one.
Are we a better team without Ryan Porteous in
it? Too early to say, I would say. I say we looked better, but Ryan Porteous wasn't the only change in that game. So you would need... Yeah. I get the argument with it, because you could say that... we spoke about it before. Ryan Porteous, and I don't at all feel like it was late. I rate Ryan Porteous. I'm disappointed he's gone. We did have games where Ryan Porteous made it about Ryan Porteous, so... And I think... I was reading Hibs.net, and somebody made the example about Porteous balling out other players and the impact that can have on them. And they picked one, like he shouted at Tavares, and somebody else had to then come and fucking try to explain to Tavares what he was getting shouted at for. And I think sometimes you can lose a good player and the team can get better. No, always. But I don't think you could use Saturday as an example one way or the other. I think if we got beat, I wouldn't have said it because we were missing Porteous. Having won at 6-0, I wouldn't have said it because we were missing Porteous. I think we need to sort of see how that develops. What should give you an idea is how many goals we concede between now and the end of the season. Once you've kind of built that up, assuming that the defence stays the same, like it's Fish and Hanlon, or we might bring in another centre half who's I think we're rumoured to be bringing some boy in. I can't remember his name.
Bailey Wright. No.
Bailey, but there was another one, like a boy that's played for Benfica or something. 2 seconds.
I saw something of
Ferro.
That. Yeah.
Somebody called Ferro.
Roche.
He was really getting spoiled. He's been on loan at Vitesse, and he's played first team for Benfica. So it would be hard to tell because you're maybe bringing other folk in. You've got loads of different variables on it. But you can replace a good player or see a good player leaving, and actually the sum of your parts gets better. And that might be the case with Porteous. I think we'll miss him though. I think Porteous has games where he's been immense for us.
All right. I just thought I'm not criticising the individual, it's more as a team. We looked more like a team yesterday than we have in weeks.
Aye, we definitely. But again, some of that might
be making about themselves or trying to, but like we spoke last week about both him and Rocky pushing forward.
Aye.
Why? Like yesterday, Hanlon, Stevenson, and Fish just went, I'm a defender, eh?
Aye, and they defended, and we got a clean sheet.
Any of that bombing past the midfield.
Aye,
so I think it makes a difference.
All right, go to Twitter. So with Jeff Ashton, excuse me, said, as a frequent user of the Upper West toilets, in brackets, age and prostate problems, we've all been there, Jeff. It made a change to see, stroke hear happy faces and voices in there, rather than people moaning like fuck or just not talking at all. The most fun in the toilet since Anne from Accounts' old ERI Xmas party in 1977. Anne, if you're listening, you can get in touch and tell us if you also had fun with Jeff back in 1977. That was that predates you, Colin.
It's
a year.
way before my time.
So I would have been alive, and assuming you had that post November, I would have been alive by the Christmas party in 1977. You would have still been you wouldn't have been a twinkle. You would be still baking at that point. You'd be in the oven.
Well, I'd be almost the oven be pinging.
But Anne, if you're
just
listening,
to remind everybody to get the birthday cards in.
Aye, and can get in touch with us. Guinness 2022 said, and we're going to use this as our extra time topic, so we'll maybe not dwell on it just now. But, category safety, great win now on 30 points, 11 games I think to the split, 4 teams tied at the bottom on 20 points, while St Johnstone on 24 are in total free fall. If we get 7 points from Ross County, St Mirren and home to Killie, does it ensure safety and we can then concentrate on looking upwards? So we're going to explore that in extra time, so we'll talk about it a bit more, Guinness, and no answer that just now. JD Hibs said we create a lot of chances and take a lot of shots. Today they all just went our way. Long may it continue. Colin, you mentioned that about the efficiency. How important is it to stay efficient with our finishing?
Well, it's really important because it puts teams on edge, doesn't it? Like, you're thinking, fuck, didn't he give them a chance? Like, because they'll take it. Like, that's where we are, like, as a fan base, aren't we? Always like, oh, fuck, I know the pressure, and then they go and get a lucky goal and all that chat that we hear. We need to start being that team, just taking our chances. And if that means we get loads of chances like yesterday and take them all, fucking all the better. But if we only get one on Tuesday night up at Ross County, fucking I'll be happy with coming with a 1-0.
Aye. I think I think, like you say, we've talked about it with our opponents and how susceptible we are to efficient finishing. So it would be good to be the team.
The team that were playing on Tuesday night, they beat us. Was it 2-0 or 2-1 when they came down to Easter, wasn't it? They got 2 fucking chances.
Yeah.
They came away with a 2-0 win, and we're all fucking doing it. I made fucking 40 chances at goal and 10 on target and all that, and you, the cows for fuck all. Like, if they got 1 and went 1-0 up, they would never have won that game.
Aye. St Johnstone as well, we did it when we were 1-0 up, battered them all game. 1-0 up, McGuinness gets sent off and then we end up losing the game for fucking 2 chances that St Johnstone got. Mike Berry said, what exactly does Josh Campbell have to do for folk to accept that he is in fact an excellent footballer with a superb attitude? I think he just needs to keep
spinning round to that now.
Aye, keep doing what he's doing. I think we said it before about you change your mind based on the evidence in front of you, don't you? Like if you can form an opinion, but if the evidence over time tells you something different, then we're quite open to sort of changing our mind on things. And I think what Josh Campbell was doing now is giving all that evidence to say you were wrong.
Because we saw flashes last year, like I just kept saying he's a hard worker and I like him in the team for the big games, but he's not a footballer, in inverted commas. But then you would see flashes like Mindy pinged a cross for the right hand side, and I think for right on to Nisbet, and it was a great goal. Maybe Dundee or somebody would be.
Motherwell, I think.
Motherwell was it, and it was a 1-0 win. It was like a Campbell, beautiful ball in, and Nisbet one touch finish. And so he's got the flashes. We're just now seeing that more regular, and that's what now is adding to the fact you go, you know what, we were wrong. That wasn't a flash in the pan. He's got that in him. He's now just confident and he's doing it all the time.
Does Lee Johnson deserve some credit for bringing that out of him?
Aye, yeah. And Campbell himself, I think he's confident. I think I said that earlier. I think confidence is helping him because he's trying things more often. Maybe he's not worried. I think last year he was a bit worried. He can't folk were going to get in his case, so he would just play the easy pass. And that was the sideways stuff and the backward stuff. He thought, I just need to get rid of it because these fuckers will just moan. And of course, didn't he not realising that a sideways or a just keeping ball isn't good enough sometimes, and he's fucking got folk in his case for that. So he was a bit unlucky, but he's confident now, so he's no. And if he plays a sideways or a backwards, folk aren't moaning about it anymore because he also does the other stuff.
Correct. Tony Swanson said, glad to say I was shocked today. There was a team playing as a unit, and apart from a 10-minute spell where they sat back, they were in control. Defended crosses, excellent footwork, and reading the passes for a change. I spot on, Tony, totally agree with that. Charlie McGrew thinks he made that up. Said, if we manage to hang on to Nisbet, maybe not as much business being done this window as we thought. Maybe just one centre back for cover. Also, on a side note, apparently Kenna assisted Ross County's first today. So I actually think Kenna got 2 assists. I don't know if did you see Kenna's Twitter yesterday? So I've not seen the game,
Oh, aye.
but his Twitter, he went on about having had like a tough week mentally. Went on about like I showed a bit of regret. I think he was saying about his account being hacked again for liking the Hearts tweets, but sort of reiterated his support for Hibs and that he'd give everything for Hibs and all this kind of thing, which was it's one of these things. Like, obviously, I didn't want to invite like a pylon on the guy or anything like that. That's not what we're about on this podcast at all. I think it's unlikely that somebody else has liked the tweets for him, right? But I didn't think I would hang him out to dry for it. I think he would go, right, fair enough. Even if he's done it, he's going, oh fuck, that was a stupid thing to do. He's maybe done it heat at the moment, being pissed off at how things have gone. He's clearly wanted to not have done it. He's regretted it and wants to move on. I think sometimes you just go, right, fair enough. Was it that big a fucking deal in the end? Has anybody died for it? Nah.
Agreed.
Move on, and when he comes back, get behind the boy and just let it lie. And I hope folk can do it.
100%. I would have rather just admitted it. I made an absolute fucking.
Right.
I'm fucking really sorry. I've unliked him. I should never have done it. I was in a rage because I was unhappy, but then he would have pissed Ross County off, of course, by saying that. But yeah, I totally agree. He's got to get a second chance.
Aye. And I hope we'll do that as well. I think whenever somebody pulls on a Hibs jersey, they deserve the support. And I'd like to think we were a support that can do that. In terms of Charlie McGrew's other point there about business needing done, so if we hang on to this bit, do you think it's only one centre back needs to come in, or do you think we need more in the door than that?
I think we need more than that. Aye, I think we're the danger of getting carried away because we've got a big win. I still think we need at least one centre half. Because I mean, the rumour is Hanlon's toiling. Like, he must have been playing through injections and that yesterday. He was good yesterday, by the way. Like,
never put a foot wrong tonight. Aye,
never put a foot wrong. He was delighted at full time. Like, looked like a bit of a relief for him in that as well. And if he is hammies done, he done a big stretch yesterday at one point. They stretched for one. I thought, you fucker, if your hammy's tight, you've got to feel it, but it seemed to be all right. So I think we need at least one centre half. I think we probably still need to cover in the full-back areas. I'm not sure about Miller. And obviously the manager doesn't fancy Chabraya. So there's maybe cover there. Midfield's looking all right. I think there's plenty of midfielders and attacking options. But if Nisbet stays, then we probably don't. Do we need another striker? Because Ewan's looking decent again. If he can find his goal touch, then it might just be some defenders we need.
Aye, and I think when you're looking at if they're going to bleed Josh O'Connor, Ethan Laidlaw, McIntyre, etc., then don't go into the market and put somebody in their way.
I was disappointed. Laidlaw never got on yesterday.
No, he didn't. He didn't.
I was disappointed at that he never got on. I don't know if we still had a sub left over or no, but I thought he might have got on. I would have liked to see the two of them come on, O'Connor and Laidlaw, because they kind of seem to come as a partnership, but this O'Connor he's got the 2 appearances. Laidlaw, when I've seen them play, and it is only a handful of times, Laidlaw's impressed me more than O'Connor, although I was impressed with O'Connor's 15 minutes yesterday.
He was good.
When I've seen him in the B team early in the summer, and I've seen the 19s a couple of times in the European games, Laidlaw stood out more to me. But I think he is a year younger than O'Connor, I think. So maybe they just thought O'Connor's older one and give him the chance first. But it's good that they're on the bench. It's good to get minutes. The goalkeeper was on the bench as well, Murray. It's good. So, it's good. It's great when the young ladies come through. We've loved it over the years, So it's just they've not got a sniff near it. So no, I think it's good, but I don't know if the only way we're going to find out if they're ready is by getting the minutes. And I think McIntyre and O'Connor possibly do have it in them. But as I said earlier, I think you could see they were half a yard off. But I expect the next time I'm not to be certainly McIntyre, because I think he's got I think he could be a player if he can play.
He definitely looks like he could make it. I think McCurdy. I think folk wrote off McCurdy as well. I still think McCurdy's got in him to impact their season. and maybe stops us having to go in and replace a forward player.
He had a good game yesterday.
He did, aye. Very, very busy, wasn't he? Like, I thought maybe he could have done with different studs on for a wee while. Like, he seemed to be kind of slipping a bit, but he was a nuisance.
Longer, he might have got a red card though.
Aye,
because twice he went in for a ball and he put his studs quite high up, and I thought, fuck, see if you were half a second later, you're getting a red card.
Aye.
But just because his studs were high in that, he won the ball, like, so it's not. But it's just that he was just that eager to win it.
Half a second later, or playing Rangers.
I was going to say, or the ones that I've only seen the clips of them. I need to watch them properly.
If we're not going to that, right?
Unbelievable, the clips I've seen.
By the way, that's an extra time for us at some point. Is just to go and say, right, see, based on the evidence we've got, is Scottish football actually corrupt? And we could talk about it another time, right? Joanne says Josh Campbell is now our top goal scorer this season, with a question mark. He is joint top. How long has he got on his contract, and are Hibs going to recognise it needs extended? So I think he's got 2 years left, right? But I'd need to fact check that because I'm just kind of going from memory.
He got a long deal.
He did.
Got a long one with Jack Ross.
I think he got a 5 year with Jack Ross, but I think we're a couple of years into that now. So with 2 or 3, I would like to think Hibs go and extend it. I think Hibs will learn from Nisbet and Poach's situations and be looking at that and going, fuck it. Just
it might not be even if it's not an extension or only a year on there, it'll be a wage rise probably.
Aye, we'll maybe get a rolling year. Do players get rolling year contracts? Kind of like managers do?
No idea.
They could maybe like stick the rolling.
Stevenson's been on a fucking rolling year for
he's 1 year deals forever.
Deals. He's never. I think if Stevenson's ever had a long term deal. I've been here long term, but he's only ever, like, I can't remember him ever signing a 5 year deal. It was always 1 and 2s.
Aye. Stevenson would get another deal, by the way, based on how he's been playing this season. Get another year.
Well, I think if you got to start blood McIntyre in, he could do what he done with help with Doig, but then he's maybe getting too old for it now, like, or play a lot less than he did when Doig was, because the beauty with Doig was in and out the team nature that helped bring him on. So the left backs that the Scotland seem to be able to produce,
Aye, it's crazy.
I'm not saying McIntyre's in that category, but I do rate him. Like, it's hopefully he can be.
Jockey Brown said, "Does this paper over the cracks or show the potential of the current squad?"
Yes.
Elgin Cow says, when was the last time a player not called Martin Ball scored a penalty for Hibs in a game environment at Easter Road? Pass.
A game environment?
Aye, match.
Does penalty shootouts
maybe excluding penalty shootouts.
Just say that, LG.
Nisbet must have scored one. Because Nisbet was penalty taker for a wee while before Boyle. I think I forgot any penalties when Boyle was away. Belgium Lascar, what were the pitch invaders all about today? So a couple went the lad who made a penalty.
I thought he was going to run on and smash it. The shitty cell has stopped to Nisbet or something.
Aye, but instead had a wee moment. That's actually what the next question was. What did the wee lad say to Nisbet before the pen? But I thought he was like, he's waiting there for the rebound. Like he just lined up like a player. Like maybe they'll notice.
It was like he had run that far. There was nothing left in his legs. So I thought he's got to run on and smash it.
Aye.
That would have been funny, but apparently he got huckled out, but apparently the steers were quite, they were alright with him. Like one of my mates was watching for these and said he was, they weren't dragging him out or anything, like it was a softer one. So hopefully he's not found himself with a lifetime banner order or anything.
Fingers crossed.
What about the full time was doing, like.
Oh, God knows.
He was a bit bigger, The lad is a wee lad, he's just fucking what he's like.
That's what actually, as the boy at full time, I said that when I stood up, I was like, I can't stay old for fucking that kind of nonsense, But then you go. What did the wee laddie say to Nisbet before the pen? Oh, it was the other way around. I actually read that as what did Nisbet say to the wee laddie. But I think the wee laddie just says, fuck Millwall, like that.
Bet he asked for his shirt.
Can I get your shirt?
Give me a wee. Can I have your shirt?
There was a thing, J.K. Rowling, right? So obviously they'll go into the fucking whole trans stuff and that, right? She gets hammered for being anti-trans. I don't actually think she is, but there was caption this, and it was Nicola Sturgeon talking to a wee kid. She says, "What do you think she's saying?" And J.K. Rowling's answer was something about fucking sending men to a women's prison. I was like, I think she probably kept it a bit more light than that. She's talking about. Probably asking her what school they're at or what their favourite subject is.
Tell your teacher.
Right, Stan, despiser of. Oh, fucking, I've just lost his tweet. Sorry, Stan, I'll find it. I'll try to get his full name. Stan, despiser of all things separatist, said, Ewan, outstanding, Campbell, excellent. Overall, a very good performance. Yep, SJC said, Josh Campbell, our next 1 million plus player. Discuss. Yeah, I think we've already kind of covered that. Pat Fry's image, or John, as I remember your name. Madman McCurdy put in a shift. He definitely did. Discos 2 said, drugs test. On Josh Campbell, because of how well he played. Whiskey Craig's had been in the West End for 5 minutes. Where's the management team? Disappointing. And Brunswick Bill, to get back to the more serious issues, referencing Collins' assessment of Johnson's strengths, he was wearing a pretty tidy smart parka today. Couldn't keep my eyes off it. Ryan Lyle said, good performance. The two centre-halves have been as solid as any pairing put out all season. Still need more quality added, but performance to build on. Tarek Tahir said, I've always said Lee Johnson's tactical nous and Ron's boys' far-sighted recruitment policy would come good, whether it be Pinocchio or Smiley. JPG White said, Aberdeen have been a basket case for as long as us and have been through as many managers. How come they've never been relegated? Somehow it just doesn't seem right. They got away with the relegation 1 year, didn't they, for somebody not having a good enough stadium? Was it Falkirk?
It must have been, because Falkirk were the team that failed a few times, eh? Or was there no league reconstruction? Was it none of that?
Aye, it was. No, I think they weren't in the reconstruction. I think they were the stadium one. I think we got Hearts fans throw at us that we got saved for relegation because of reconstruction, but actually we wouldn't have been relegated on our points total that season anyway. Whiskey Craig said every player was outstanding today. We're going to win the league. Seriously though, the movement, communication, decisions and rub of the green all went our way. Was the rest of the league right? Was Porto the problem? And Vince said, Fish let well for the goal, get Campbell on a longer contract. Now time for a wee run, Hibs. See the rub of the green thing? It did go away on Saturday. See the amount of balls it broke to a Hibs player? Was unreal.
See that though? Is that luck? Or is that like because they were working hard and they were in the right positions and they were... Do you know what I mean? I think it's a bit of both. Like, I don't think it's anticipation and, you know what I mean? I don't think it is lucky.
A bit of both, but sometimes you see with two players going for a ball and it bounces, kind of like they hit at the same time, it bounces up and it lands. I mean, that's just fucking luck sometimes. Right? Nobody's meaning that. And the amount of times, like, there's one team in particular that always fucking gets the breaks in against us. Right? What kind fucking who that is. I refuse it's all to do with anticipation. That some of it is, and there will be times where you make your own luck and all the rest of it, but there's definitely times where you just go, okay, what, the day Orioles wee things went our way. They all did. Like, I can't think of many times where I went, oh, you lucky bastards with Aberdeen. A couple of times I thought it was. I was like, fucking, I'll take that. But anyway, right, that's us out of time for the episode, Colin. We've got extra time to record. So if you want to get extra time, we're going to be talking about what could happen for us the rest of the season and where we're premature in writing the season off. You can subscribe. It is a subscriber exclusive episode, that one. We have given away 2 for free this weekend already, as well as doing the Twitter Spaces. Didn't say we're no good to you. So if you want to subscribe, go to our Twitter. There's a wee link in there where you can sign up. In the meantime, thanks very much for sending in all your talking points. Keep them coming. If there's anything you want us to discuss, we will do our best to cover it. Colin, thanks for your time, and we'll see you all later.
Thank you.
Well, they trailed me down when I broke free. I drank all the whiskey in Tennessee. I don't drink what I know.